Through our Tip of the Week email, a viewer asked if I had yet done a podcast on how a buyer's agent can collect their full commission when the listing agent is offering less. Previously in a podcast, I did discuss various agency issues which included this topic, but today I will just address this one question. The offer on MLS controls what the listing agent owes the buyer's agent on the sale of the listed property. This is a unilateral contract and cannot be altered except through separate written amendment between co-brokers. When the MLS contract offers the buyer's agent less than expected or desired, the buyer's agent can do one of two things: ask for a written amendment between co-brokers, increasing the commission, or enforce the buyer representation agreement. As you know, the buyer's representation agreement specifically provides for the situation where the seller does not pay the full agreed upon fee by requiring the buyer to pay the difference. If you do not have a buyer representation agreement, you have no vehicle to require payment of your full commission. To enforce payment of commissions, you must have a written agreement. Many buyer's agents discount the issue that a written agreement is required to enforce commissions because commissions are usually paid by the seller. And the agency relationship can be created simply by your actions, which means if you hold yourself out as representing someone and they rely on your actions as representing them, then you create the agency relationship with all of its inherent fiduciary duties without anything in writing. The written buyer representation agreement protects your right to full commission. If seller refuses to pay the amount owed, buyer is required to pay the difference. When I remind agents of this, they roll their eyes at me and say, "No one enforces it." And I ask, why not? Aren't your services worth it? As buyer's agent, your job is to show all available properties that meet your buyer's criteria. The duty to work in your client's best interest does not include working for less than the agreed upon compensation. If I were representing a buyer and I found a property that meets their criteria, but the co-broker fee offered is discounted, I would make buyer aware. I would remind them that if they were interested in making an offer on that property, they would owe a portion of my commission, the difference between what they agreed to in the buyer representation agreement and the amount paid through the seller. When you don't choose to enforce the buyer representation agreement, you are sending a message that your services are not worth the fee. And I believe if you fail to show the property to your buyer with whom you have a buyer representation agreement simply because the co-broker offers something less, you are violating your duties to your buyer. Bottom line, I recommend when co-brokers offer discounted commissions that you set your buyer's expectations and enforce your agreement under the buyer's representation agreement. I hope this video has been helpful. Thank you for viewing and for your questions. I hope to see you at our closing table soon. Thank you.